So the speaker has to select a speech topic and determine its general and specific purposes. Organize the speech in a manner that best achieves these purposes. Ensure the beginning, body and conclusion reinforces the purposes. Project sincerity and conviction and control any nervousness the speaker might feel, and strive not to use notes. Time allotted is 5 to 7 minutes.
Put your hands together and welcome our dynamic and leader, Toastmaster Chandra. I asked him, what is your secret to success in life? He said that staying focused. His speech title is Ignorance is Bliss. All the best.
Thank you. Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and my dear friends. It was a Friday evening. I get this call from a not so close friend, but a person whom I admire. And the conversation went on for almost 20-25 minutes. But at the end of the conversation, I was felt or left devastated. I was left devastated for one simple reason, because the other person there was giving me, or he thought he was giving me feedback. The feedback was something which I did not appreciate. In fact, that feedback giving me more clarity about what I should do later, it put me into a confusion as to where am I going wrong. I went around trying to get solutions and analyze that particular call, relive that particular conversation again and again in my mind as to what did he say, what did I speak, how did the entire conversation go, at what point he was giving me that feedback, and can I get something more out of it as to why that person was giving me that kind of a feedback. I did not get it. I tried to even reach out to him, but that did not happen. So after having exhausted with all my options, I came to one conclusion: ignore it. Because that's how we should normally go forward. But it is easier said than done, because you can't just get away with certain thoughts which comes to your mind, because the weight of the thought actually gets so big that you can't even carry forward the body weight. I was sitting at a Starbucks outlet after 2 days. Again this thought came into my mind as to, okay, let me go back. He said, do this, do that, or this is the reason I say this. So let me read more about it, let me do a little more research as to where I should improve or where I should work on. Is it actually the fact? All the pages what I searched on the internet gave me certain things which in retrospect I was actually doing. So I did not see a connect between what I am not doing and why that feedback has come to me. I came to another conclusion there again: ignore, because it's not affecting or it's not relevant to me. But at that point in time, I happened to meet this friend at the same outlet, and I thought the best way to ignore is to get that out of the mind, get into a conversation. Without even I realizing, the conversation somehow, after 10 to 15 minutes, came into one particular point where my friend ended up asking, what's wrong? I don't see the normal you. I had no choice but to open up and say that this is something which is hitting my head, and I really don't know as to, is it the right thing or what? At that point in time, the friend who was sitting there shared with me one small incident. And I thought that is one thing which is very important for all of us to look at life the way feedback comes to us. The person started talking to me in terms of a small narrative. And the narrative goes like this. He said, have you seen a centipede? Let me tell you a story of the centipede. And the story goes like this. One day, the centipede was crossing the road. And when the centipede was crossing the road, there was an ant on the other side who actually spotted the centipede and crossing that road so beautifully and so meticulously. Soon after the centipede has crossed the road, the ant went to the centipede and asked the centipede that, that's an amazing way to cross a road. How do you do that? Never before anybody has asked the centipede that you have done it an amazing way. Centipede actually felt flattered. Like, oh, that's something which I do naturally. So the ant said, no, it's not natural at all. You have so many pairs of legs and you do it with so much of synchronization, which I find it tough to even move my 4 pairs of legs or 4 pairs of limbs. How do you do that? There must be some secret formula behind what you're doing. The centipede said, no, I don't have an answer for this, I don't have any formula for this. So the ant kept on asking, but the centipede kept on ignoring that question because it did not have an answer. But after some time, when the conclusion happened, where centipede left with the thought that yes, there must be something, that how I do it, because ant is telling me that feedback. So the next few days, centipede went about thinking about why it is able to do it in such a synchronized way. And it decides, okay, the next time I do, I will watch how I actually move my one leg forward and what happens to the other leg. And when it started doing it, it fumbled, it tumbled, it also did not cross the road the way it could have done easily. When my friend had told me this particular story, I got a message out of it. The message is, we keep getting feedback, we keep getting opinions from people, some whom you like, some whom you admire, some not so much whom you admire, some not so much whom you like, because people come to you and give you feedback. But the point is, friends, what feedback will you take and what feedback will you ignore? That's the point. Now, in that case of a centipede, that feedback which the ant gave was not something which will take the centipede to the next level. So my point is, how do you differentiate between something which you can ignore and which you can take? The last point and the most important point which you can keep with you is, when anybody gives you feedback, when anything comes to you, ask yourself, where is that feedback taking you? Is it taking you to the next level, or is it leaving you to some other level? If it is going to take you to the next level, you can't ignore. But if it is not, ignorance is bliss. Thank you very much.